Welcome back, students, to the English class, Chapter 4 From the Diary of Anne Frank by Anne Frank. This lesson is an excerpt from Diary of a Young Girl or The Diary of Anne Frank. It is an autobiography that was first published in 1947. In this, Anne expresses her thoughts in a diary which was gifted to her on her 13th birthday. She names this diary as Kitty, which she considers as her only true friend. She mentions about her childhood, her family, and a lot other things that she told no one else. Let us start. Writing in a diary is a really strange experience for someone like me. Not only because I have never written anything before, but also because it seems to me that later on neither I nor anyone else will be interested in the musing of 13-year-old schoolgirl. Oh well, it doesn't matter. I feel like writing and I have an even greater need to get all kinds of things off my chest. So here the author or Anne Frank feels that it is strange and unusual for her to write in a diary about her feelings and experiences because it was the first time she was doing it. She feels this because she thinks that in the future no one would be interested in reading about a young school going girl. She thinks that later even she will not be interested in reading it. But then she puts this thought away and decides that she would write if she feels like doing so. She feels the need to write because there were a lot of thoughts she had been holding on and she needed to get them off her mind. It is known that writing one's thought acts as therapy. She makes the decision of writing a diary. Paper has more patience than people, I thought of the saying on one of those days when I was feeling a little depressed and was sitting at home with my chin in my hands, bored and listless, wondering whether to stay in or to go out. I finally stayed where I was, brooding. Yes, paper does have more patience. And since I'm not planning to let anyone else read this stiff packed notebook, grandly referred to as diary, unless I should ever find a real friend, it probably won't make a bit of difference. Now I'm back to the point that prompted me to keep a diary in the first place. I don't have a friend. Now, here, the the 13-year-old girl, feels that paper has much more capacity to observe thoughts than the people. People have low patience levels, but a piece of paper, being a non living thing, would not refuse from absorbing her thoughts. This realization came to her one day when she was feeling more sad and confused than usual. She could not even decide whether to go out or stay at home at that time. When she finally decided to stay at home, she sat being depressed and in deep thought. Again, she thought that paper had more patience and she decided to write everything that came in her mind because she did not intend on making someone read it unless she found a real friend. Now, here she meant a real friend, a friend with whom she could share all her secrets. She then comes back to the point where she thought of beginning to write. It is because she is lonely and has no friend to talk to. Let us continue. Let me put it more clearly, since no one will believe that a 13-year-old girl is completely alone in the world. And I'm not. I have loving parents and a 16-year-old sister. And there are about 30 people I can call friends. I have a family, loving aunts, and a good home. No one on the surface I seem to have everything, except my one true friend. All I think about when I am with my friends is having a good time. I can't bring myself to talk about anything but ordinary everyday things. We don't seem to be able to get any closer, and that's the problem. Maybe it's my fault that we don't confide in each other. In any case, that's just how things are, and unfortunately, they are not liable to change. This is why I have started the diary. So, here she then goes on explaining why she feels the need for a friend. She feels that no one is going to believe that a young girl like her is so alone, which practically she is not, because she has a loving family, about 30 people that can be called as friends, loving aunt, and a good place to stay. This shows a clear picture of a family, a happy family. But the one thing that lacks in her life is the presence of a true friend with whom she can share everything. She does have a good time with friends. They talk about stuff, but not real stuff that is actually going on in their life. Despite trying hard, they are unable to get closer. She feels that maybe it is her problem, that she cannot trust anyone with her private talks, that she is not able to come any closer to her friends. She feels that the current situation cannot be changed and thus she needs to write her feelings in the diary. To enhance the image of this long awaited friend in my imagination, I don't want to jot down the facts in this diary the way most people would do, but I want the diary to be my friend and I'm going to call it as Kitty. Since no one would understand a word of my stories to Kitty, if I were to plunge right in, I would better provide a brief sketch of my life, much as I dislike doing so. Now, here, usually when someone is writing in a diary, they list down all the facts about them in a formal manner, which she does not want to do. This is because she wanted to give her need for a friend a shape and thus decide to name the diary as Kitty, hoping that someone would read her diary one day. She thinks that writing without giving details about the background story would be ineffective. So, despite not wanting to do so, she gives a brief detail about her life. Now, let us continue. My father, the most adorable father I have ever seen, didn't marry my mother until he was 36 and she was 25. My sister, Margaret, was born in Frankfurt in Germany in 1926. I was born on 12th June 1929. I lived in Frankfurt until I was 4. My father immigrated to Holland in 1933. My mother, Edith Holland Frank, went with him to Holland in September, while Margaret and I were sent to Aachen to stay with our grandmother. Margaret went to Holland in December and I followed in February when I was plunked down on the table as the birthday present to Margaret. Now here she refers to her father as the most lovable father one could get. Her father married her mother when he was about 36 and she was 25. She and her sister Margaret was both born in Frankfurt. As soon as Anne turned 4, her father moved to Holland, followed by her mother in September. While both the sisters stayed with their grandmother in Aachen, Margaret was also sent to Holland in December, followed by Anne in February, who was brought as a birthday present to Margaret. I started right away at the Montessori Nursery School. I stayed there until I was 6, at which time I started in the first form. In the 6th form, my teacher was Mrs. Kupris, the headmistress. At the end of the year, we were both in tears as we said a heartbreaking farewell. In the September 1941, Grandma fell ill and had to have an operation, so my birthday passed with little celebration. Now here in Holland, Anne was sent to Montessori Nursery School. It was her first school. She started from first form. She had Mrs. Kupris, the headmistress, as a teacher in 6th form, who even cried at the time of farewell. In 1941, During her birthday, she could not celebrate well because her grandmother fell ill and underwent an operation. Grandmother died in January 1942. No one knows how often I think of her and still love her. This birthday celebration in 1942 was intended to make up for the other, and Grandma's candle was lit along with the rest. The four of us are still doing well, and that brings me to the present date of 20th June 1942 and the solemn dedication of my diary. Now, here you can see, unfortunately, her grandmother left them in January 1942. Anne misses her grandmother more than anyone knows. This year's birthday was to celebrate it with great zeal so as to compensate for the last year's. She then mentions that her family is doing well, which sums up her background and brings her to the present date of June 20th, 1942, when she is writing her diary. Now let us see what she has written in her diary. Saturday, 20th June 1942. Dearest Kitty, our entire class is quacking in its boots. The reason, of course, is the forthcoming meeting in which the teachers decide who will move up to the next form and who will be kept back. Half the class is making bets. GN and I laugh ourselves silly at the two boys behind us, CN and Jackus, who have stacked their entire holiday saving on their bets. From morning to night, it's you're going to pass. No, I am not. Yes, you are. No, I am not. Even GS plead glances and my angry outbursts can't calm them down. If you ask me, there are so many dummies that about a quarter of the class should be kept back, but teachers are the most unpredictable creatures on the earth. Now on June 20th, 1942, Anne begins writing her diary, addressing it as her friend Kitty. She mentions how her entire class is nervous about their result. It is unpredictable and will be dedicated by a meeting of teachers in which they will select students to be moved to the next class or kept back. Many students were making bets. Some had put in the entire summer saving at stake. She and her friend G also made fun of the nervous boys. They kept on saying to each other that they are not going to pass, while would console them by saying yes you would, and G was polite as she tried to stop them from making noises while Anne scolded them. But none of it worked. According to Anne, about a quarter of the class should not be allowed to pass because they hardly respond or take part in any of the activities. She refers to them as dummies. But this may not be the case because teachers' decisions cannot be predicted. It's not be able to change, not changeable. I am not so worried about my girlfriends and myself. We will make it. The only subject I'm not sure about is maths. Anyway, all we can do is wait. Until then, we keep telling each other not to lose heart. Now here she is trying to say that she is not bothered about her friends because she is sure that they will pass. The only subject that she is unsure about is mathematics. She seems to be having a tough time with the subject, but all they could do was wait for the results and not to lose their hope. I get along pretty well with all my teachers. There are 9 of them, 7 men and 2 women. Mr. Kessing, the most foggy who teaches maths, was annoyed with me for ages because I talk so much. After several warnings, he assigned me extra homework. An essay on the subject, a chatterbox. A chatterbox, what can you write about that? I would worry about that later, I decided. I jotted down the title in my notebook, tucked it in my bag, and tried to keep quiet. Now here she tells how she has a great relationship with all her teachers except the maths professor. He was constantly irritated by Anne's talkativeness. Despite several warnings, Anne did not stop talking in his classes, which made him to give her extra homework as punishment. The first one was to write an essay on Chatterbox, which she thought was a weird topic to write on because what could one write about that? For the moment, she wrote down the topic in her notebook, kept it in her bag, and focused on staying quiet. So, here ends the first part of the chapter.